difficult day, not only for me, but for our entire agency. And I want to preface my comments with you by showing you this first. Anybody who's been in my office knows that this hangs right above my desk. I almost know it verbatim. No man is above the law, and no man is below it, nor do we ask any man's permission when we require him to obey it. Obedience to the law is demanded as a right, not asked as a favor. And Teddy Roosevelt said this way back in 1903. And how fitting today that I look at this and just think how important that is. Our community, any community, much like a home, is supported by pillars of strength. One of those pillars is made up of the law enforcement community, and they are charged to live their life as an example to others. That example includes a lawful life with the highest of integrity, the highest of moral character, decency, and respect. Unfortunately, today I am disheartened to announce that one of our own deputies has fallen short of those expectations. Yesterday evening at approximately 8 p.m., a female walked into the Lawnwood Medical Center and stated she had been sexually assaulted by a law enforcement officer. That law enforcement officer was alleged to be an on-duty St. Lucie County Sheriff's deputy. Immediately, I, my chief deputy, Director of Law Enforcement, Criminal Investigation Division Commander, and our Internal Affairs Unit responded and authorized a full investigation into these allegations. Multiple detectives were called in to conduct this investigation, and sadly, these allegations were substantiated, and one of our own was identified as the alleged perpetrator of this crime. This morning, we arrested Deputy Evan Kramer, an 8-month employee of the St. Lucie County Sheriff's Office, for sexual battery in the first degree, which is a life felony. Kramer was hired as a reserve deputy on May 1st, 2016, and he was subsequently hired as a full-time deputy on October 1st, 2016. He has been assigned to our district patrol operations for that entire time, working the 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. shift, commonly referred to as the night shift. At approximately 12:30 a.m. on Tuesday, January 24th, Kramer was in the area of 21st Street and Florida Avenue when he initiated a traffic stop on a female for a minor traffic offense. Kramer established she had multiple warrants issued for her arrest. Kramer stopped the woman without notifying dispatch, and in the course of speaking with her, negotiated sex acts in exchange for not going to jail. He placed the victim in his patrol vehicle and transported her 1.7 miles to 29th Street and Virginia Avenue to a vacant lot where the sex act took place. From the comments Kramer made to the victim, we feel it is possible that this is not his first time in doing this. And I'm asking anyone out there who has had contact with Kramer and been victimized in any way to please contact our Criminal Investigation Division at 462-3230. I'm going to repeat that number, 462-3230. If people don't want to call that, they can actually just call 911 and we'll have a deputy respond, take a statement from them, or actually transport them here. By Florida state statute, there is a provision that allows us to release his photograph in order to further aid our investigation. And today I am authorizing that, and shortly his photograph will be placed in the back. It's important to note that I, along with my command staff, and every member of this organization take these allegations with the utmost seriousness. The allegation against Kramer was made, and our agency acted swiftly and precisely with a thorough investigation, and we took appropriate action. Upon his arrest, I immediately rescinded Kramer's appointment, and he was fired. As is our agency policy, I've authorized an internal affairs investigation into this incident to administratively document the violations of our agency policy, and this will be forwarded to the Florida Department of Law Enforcement, which might use this to revoke his law enforcement certification, and that's what we hope. Kramer was booked into the St. Lucie County Jail on sexual assault and battery. He is currently held without bond, and he will have his first appearance tomorrow morning. Not this morning, but tomorrow morning. During a time in our nation when the respect for law enforcement is at an all-time high, incidents such as this quickly erode that trust and respect. And I want to personally apologize to our community and all the other members of the law enforcement community for Kramer's dishonorable actions that he did. This morning I met with members of our patrol squads and conveyed to them the seriousness of these allegations and reminded them the importance of being beyond reproach, and that we in law enforcement are held to a higher standard than anyone else. And we welcome that. We want to be held to a higher standard. I ask the community we serve, do not take the actions of this one bad apple and paint a broad brush against the 99.99% heroes who put on the uniform every day and dedicate their lives to protecting and serving our communities. And with that, I'll take questions. However, please note we are still actively investigating this, and we still actually have some witnesses we need to reach out to. But go ahead, Lori.
Can you please spell his name and give his date of birth?
Evan, E-V-A-N, Kramer, C-R-A-M-E-R, and his date of birth, he's 28 years old. Angela.
Sheriff, normally when you have an arrest like this, the officer or deputy is usually placed on leave until an investigation continues, but you said you fired him when he was arrested. Explain why.
He was still on probation. He was a probationary employee, and I have the right to fire him. And the allegations were so egregious, and some of the evidence was so substantial, I fired him.
And you were saying that from what the evidence you have, I don't know if you can share it with us, what leads you to believe that there may be more victims out there?
I can't go into great detail, but he made comments to this victim that would support that he has done this in the past, and he actually was comparing her to other victims. So it is apparent there are some other victims out there based on his own statements.
Did he work for any other law enforcement agencies previously? Were there any issues ever reported there?
He did work for another law enforcement agency in the middle of the state, and it was a police department. What was the name of it? Sanford PD. Issues there. He resigned. I think he was relocating here.
Any idea how long he worked for Sanford Police?
No, I do not have that right here in front of me. I mean, we have it in his HR file, which we're going to make available to you. Anything else, Greg?
No.
His picture's up there. Easily recognizable deputy, big guy. So anyone who's had interaction with him, been victimized by him, we want to know about it. Angela.
Can you tell us anything about the victim's demeanor? Was she nervous? Was she afraid? You know,
she was.
About a deputy?
She was terrified. You could hear it in her voice. You could see it was palpable. The first question is, why would you wait from 2 a.m. when she walked home and arrived at home till 8 p.m. that night to go to Lawnwood? She was fearful of what he might do to her if she reported it, and he actually knew where she lived. So.
What's her age? Can you really say?
31.
Has anything like this ever happened, or when is the last time that an on-duty officer has
It has happened. It's happened here. His name was Matt Morris. Very similar incident that probably happened 8 or 9 years ago. Arrested immediately, terminated immediately.
And was he also an on-duty
Mhm.
deputy,
Yes,
night shift?
yes.
Any comments from him?
Not really. No. He acknowledged that there was some interaction, but of course denies the sex act.
For anyone who may be worried about getting pulled over at night at this point,
Great
what is
question.
your advice?
Great question. I have a daughter. Many times she has relayed to me, it was dark at night. The car had lights, but I couldn't tell if it was a police car. I couldn't tell if it was a marked unit. Immediately call 911. No matter what jurisdiction you're in, that 911 call is going to go to the correct jurisdiction. So you're driving through Martin County on 995, this car is trying to pull you over, call 911. Say, listen, I'm in Martin County. There's a car behind me with lights on. I'm now entering St. Lucie County. They will reroute that call to St. Lucie County. We can verify that yes, it is a deputy, or no, it's not. And then if it's not, we can send you help. And that's what I recommend. If in fact it's closer maybe to a urban area, pull into a well-lighted area with lots of people, lots of lights, and then call 911. So the last thing we want in law enforcement is someone being victimized by a real law enforcement officer or one portraying a real law enforcement officer.
Sure, how disappointed are you?
Oh, heartbroken. Absolutely heartbroken. It not only tarnishes his badge, but everyone who wears the badge today. And now it's our goal to leave here and reshine all of our badges, rebuild some trust, and make sure our community knows this is one bad apple. We've taken care of it, and we're here to continue our mission of protecting and serving. That's it. Thanks.